Hola chicos, soy señorita Schaefer y hoy vamos a hablar de la gramática de capítulo 5a y vamos a hablar de Possessive Adjectives. La información de Possessive Adjectives está en página 232 si quieres ver más. La pregunta hoy es, how do I communicate who something belongs to? Entonces, por favor, escribir la pregunta en sus papeles. Go ahead and write that question on your papers and make sure you leave some extra space so that we can answer it later. Now, before we get into Spanish possessive adjectives, I want to make sure that we actually know what possessive adjectives are. We use possessive adjectives to tell what belongs to someone or to show relationship. So we might say, I have a brother, or I have a sandwich, right? It can be with people or with things, but we use it to show possession or relationship. In English, the possessive adjectives are my, your, his or her, our, your, and their. Let's go ahead to the next page and we'll do these over again, but in Spanish. En español tenemos, in Spanish we have mi or mis, tú or tus. Make sure you don't put an accent on this one. With an accent it means you. Without an accent it means your. Su and sus. Nuestro or nuestros. Nuestra or nuestras. Vuestros. You'll notice that that's exactly the same as the nosotros form, except with the V. Vuestras. Oops. That wasn't very wise. Let's do this. Cross out those ones. This can be with the S or without. And then we'll have su and sus again. You'll notice here that in nosotros, nuestras, and vuestras, you have the option of feminine or masculine, and that in all of them, you have the option of whether it's going to be singular or plural. Here you can see an example of some pictures and how we might use these possessive adjectives. So if Javier y yo con nuestra abuela. Javier and I with our grandma. Because abuela is singular and feminine, nuestra is singular and feminine. That's like a relationship with a person. Here we have possession of an item. Mis padres con su regalo. You'll notice that su describes regalo. My parents with their gift. We're not making su agree with my parents because it's describing gift. Okay, what's describing parents is mis padres con su regalo. So mis describes padres and su describes regalo. Like other adjectives, remember possessive adjectives are still adjectives and they must agree in number and gender with the nouns that follow them. However, only nuestro and vuestro actually have endings that matter if they're masculine or feminine. So what you can see here is mi cámara. So my doesn't need to be masculine or feminine, but it is singular. And then when cámaras is plural, we make mis plural. Same thing here, nuestro abuelo, our grandfather. So when we change it to our grandparents, we have masculine and plural. So nuestros must change to masculine and plural. However, when we're saying our daughter, because daughter is feminine, we use nuestra. And then when we say our daughters, we need nuestras, plural and feminine. This can take a little bit of practice to get used to, but it's exactly like the other adjectives that you guys have used. We just need to make sure that we memorize the possessive adjectives so that we can use them well. The last detail that I want to talk about today is that su and sus can have many different meanings. because they're down kind of at the bottom of our chart where we can say his or her or their or your formal or its, we can be more specific by using de and a noun or a pronoun. So for example, we can say, instead of sus flores, if you want to qualify and say whose exactly, like are they his or hers or yours, we can say las flores de ella. De means of, and ella is her, so like of hers, her flowers. The other one that we can do is sus regalos. So you're saying their gifts or your gifts or his gifts. We don't know which one. So we say los regalos de Javier y Carlos, of Javier y Carlos. And we can specify that they belong to those two. Remember, in Spanish, we will never, ever use the apostrophe S. That's not a thing. Don't use it, ever. So how we answer this question, how do I communicate who something belongs to? We're going to do this by using possessive adjectives. We talked about in English, these are like my, your, his, her, their, our, etc. But in Spanish, we're going to use mi, tu, su, nuestro, or a, vuestro, or a, and su. Just remember that they do need to agree in both number and gender where applicable. So you could also have mis, tus, sus, sus, nuestros, nuestras, vuestros, vuestras. And then these ones will need to agree in gender as well. The last way that we can talk about, so we have 1, 2, 3. The last way that we can communicate who something belongs to is by using de and then the subject pronoun or name. Just to clarify further who it belongs to if it's something that's unclear, especially when we're using su or sus. As always, if you have any questions, please make sure that you write them down so that you can remember to ask when we get back to class. Y adiós y gracias por escuchar.